Good evening, everyone, and welcome in here on the Buckeye Racing Network. I'm Tyler Bentley. Alongside me in the booth, as always, is Mr. Tim Henderson. Tim, how are you doing tonight?
I am doing just wonderful. How about yourself, buddy?
I'm doing fantastic, and we are live here from the Lernerville Speedway with the Short Track Rivals Racing 358 Modified Series. You see the drivers on screen already working the track in, running some practice laps. Let's get a look at the timing board so far. Just about 35 seconds or so left here in the practice. And Anthony Morano, so far top of the timing board. We'll get a look at him. He's in that number 32 machine, working around the inside part of the racetrack right now. Sam Bachman also on the racetrack. He's currently second on the board with a 1498. As always, I want to welcome everybody in here. Appreciate you tuning in here on the BRN. And if you are watching, let us know who you're pulling for. And if you expect any craziness here tonight from Lernerville. Practice session's wrapping up. Going to roll right into the qualifying session right now. Any early thoughts from you, Tim?
No. Other than when I got a couple laps in on the test drive just here moments ago, I realized how difficult it is to run right up on the edge, especially in 1 and 2.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you know, it's unique here at Lernerville. They don't have a wall around turns 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So if you get up over the cushion, the track falls away from you. So you do have to be careful. Looking at Clayton Kluel. He's working his way around the racetrack right now. Completing one of his qualifying laps at a 1589, currently now third quick. He just bumped down to third. Dylan DeWert went to the top of the board at a 1584. Now David Cannon, 1582. Lap 2 complete for Clayton. He runs a 1623, so a tad bit slower on lap 2. Jonathan Tohafchian just coming onto the racetrack now in his 14 machine. Going to work the inside here on his qualifying effort. Lap number 1 for Jonathan, good for 18th quick at a 16:19 on lap number 1. See how he does on lap 2. Down low and across the line. And he does pick up to a 16:10, 12th quick for Jonathan. Juan Martinez in the number 4. Jake Henry, Nate Walker, Cameron Tucker, all making a qualifying lap right now. First lap for Juan is going to be good for 12th quick at a 16:10. Lap number 2, it does pick up to a 16:04 and 10th on the board for Juan. Jacob Harrell entering the racetrack now in the 67. See what he can do. Looks like most of the drivers are wanting to run that low line. We haven't seen any of them move up yet. A lot of grip down there. Lap 1 complete for Jacob. He turns a 1591. Same for Nate Walker, 1591. Looks like he's going to bring it to a stop here after that effort. "32 cars have completed a lap. Blake Bailey sitting on the pit lane. He's not moving. There's a couple other ones as well that haven't taken a time, and we still have a little over a minute. Jonathan Lampman, Dawson Tone, both entering the racetrack right now. Jonathan Lampman coming out for the warm-up lap, and then when he comes back across the line, this time out of turn 4, he will start his qualifying effort. Blake Bailey as well coming out onto the racetrack. Lampman is choosing to run up high on his lap here. Let's see how it fares for him. Out of turn 4 and across the line. Lap number 1 for Jonathan is good for 14th at a 16.06. Dawson Tone's first lap is a 16.44. That's good for 32nd on the board. Lampman across the line for lap 2 runs a little slower to 16.15. Blake Bailey just turned a 15.89 to move up to 7th quick. Dawson Tone picks up on his second lap to a 16.15, good for 24th quick. I think that's going to about do it. Now 35 cars have completed a lap. It's looking more and more likely that,
Oh,
my goodness, I think Blake Bailey's just having some fun exiting the racetrack there. And Blake Bailey is going to be tonight's quick qualifier, turning a lap of a 15.69. Good for a 10th over second place. All right, heat number 1. Lining up here. Row number 1 is going to be Blake Bailey in the 34 and Jacob Harrell in the 67. Row 2 is going to be Sam Bachman in the 007 and Logan Wentz in the 18. Row 3 is going to be Cameron Tucker in the 53 and Blake Steele in the 11. Row 4 is going to be Jonathan Tohavchian in the 14 and Brett Weslowski in the 3. Row 5 is going to be Dean Reynolds in the 79 and Jordan Tucker in the 66. And row number 6 is going to be Quentin Stothard in the 89 and Dana Burdick in the 27. Two by two, 8 laps going to be the distance, and we're going to take the top 3. Into the feature in just a little while. Definitely see the outside part of the racetrack has slicked off for sure. You think we're going to see the drivers work the middle to the inside early on here, Tim?
no, I think everyone's going to be, well, it's favored on the high side. I can't say everyone is going to be up there, but I believe most of the cars in these 2 or 3 heats, or however many heats we have, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Green flag goes in the air. We are underway in heat 1 and side by side, 2, 3, 4 rows deep into turn number 1. Blake Bailey, Sam Bachman side by side. I think Blake's going to edge out just a little bit. Now clearing himself out of 4. Big run by Logan Wentz out of turn 4. He moves into 3rd. Maybe trying for 2nd, but Blake Steele has something to say to that as he has that car wound up in the middle of the racetrack. Blake Bailey, Blake Steele, Logan Wentz, your top 3. Sam Bachman, Jacob Harrell side by side. Looks like Blake Steele just had a little bit of an issue getting out of turn 2, and it kind of stacks him up there right behind him. Logan Wentz looking to the inside. Not able to have enough momentum to clear Blake Steele into turn 3, so he's going to settle back in, run the outside. Meanwhile, that's going to open up the bottom for the 007 of Sam Bachman.
We got one over. Jonathan Tohafian.
Tech on him. He has made it back on the speedway. He's going to continue on. top 3 transfer directly to the feature. Blake Bailey, Blake Steele, Logan Wentz. First car on the outside looking in is going to be Sam Bachman. And he's got company. Jacob Harrell, Cameron Tucker is right there with him. Now 2 laps to go. The battle of the Blakes at the front. That's Blake Bailey and Blake Steele. Steele's going to look to the inside here, out of turn 4. White flag going to go in the air. And what a battle for third. 2 cars down on the inside. Logan Wentz up on the outside. Who's going to prevail? The 67 of Harrell sends it down on the inside. And he's going to steal away the third and final transfer spot. Meanwhile, Blake Bailey is going to win the heat and Blake Steele's going to come away in second. But what a finish. Jacob Harrell with a heroic dive into turn 3 and slid up the racetrack to take third. He doesn't have to worry about battling for a transfer, but my goodness. What a finish. Heat number 2's lining up on the grid. Row number 1, Nate Walker in the 8, Cody McDonald in the 28. Row 2 is going to be Clayton Kluel in the 6, and David Bruno in the 26. Row 3 is going to be Juan Martinez in the 4, and Michael Vitale in the 213. Row 4, Ryan Howard in the 04, and Jackson Johnstone in the 29. Row 5 is going to be Alan Smith in the 44, and Chris Martin in the 21. Row 6 is going to be Braden Phillips in the 88, and Logan Brown in the 25. What'd you think about that move there on the last lap, Tim?
Wow. You know, just that was for a transfer spot.
Yes, it was.
I'm sure there's a couple people that didn't quite like it, but you got to give and you got to take some.
Yes, you do. And it provided an exciting moment for us up here in the booth. There's no doubt about that. Heroics there from the number 67 machine. Lights already out on the pace truck. We are going to go green on this lap to get underway in heat number 2. Pace truck is off. Green flag goes in the air. We're underway in heat 2, and a little bit of contact there on the inside. Trying to see who that was. Maybe Clayton Kluel and Juan Martinez there. Nate Walker getting challenged by Cody McDonald. Cody McDonald on the inside. Is he going to allow that car to slide up on exit? Not quite. Nate Walker does lead lap number 1. Side by side is David Bruno and Clayton Kluel. Now Juan Martinez as well. Caution flag in the air. Believe it happened to the 88 machine on your screen of Braden Phillips. We'll see exactly what happened to him. He's now entering turn 3 on the inside. Just gets a little bit of help from behind. Car spins around. He's trying to get the ship righted, and since the car was backwards, I think that was enough for the caution to come out. I don't think any major damage to his machine, so he's going to be able to continue on. Already 3 complete, 5 to go. In this heat. Looks like the 88 machine of Braden Phillips has brought the car into the pit area. He's getting some service, maybe some damage repair on that machine. Field's probably going to double up this time. Lights are out on the pace truck. Nate Walker in the 8 in control on this restart. You're going to see him fire first, and everybody will get to react. He fires. Green flag goes back in the air. First 2 cars away, single file. Now also the 26 of David Bruno. Clayton Kluhl clear into 4th. Battle is on for 5th. Michael Vitale and Juan Martinez. Oh, Michael Vitale gets help from behind, and the car gets around, and that's going to bring our yellow flag out. We're keeping an eye on that battle there. I think Michael had a bit of an issue getting into turn 1. The car was a little slower than everybody else, and he gets help from behind, and that car goes for a loop. He's going to be able to continue, though. Meanwhile, go ahead, Tim.
I was just gonna say the leader, in a very familiar paint scheme, to me. That's Billy Decker. That's a Billy Decker car. He runs up in my neck of the woods in upstate New York. Just realized that. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, how about that? Good deal. I was watching the battle and the accident that happened there with Michael Vitale, and Cody McDonald was able to scoot by Nate Walker for the race lead, so. Two by two. This time Cody's going to get to choose when he wants to fire, since he is the leader. He fires right in the middle of the turn. Green flag goes back in the air. Just 2 laps to go. We're going to keep an eye on the third. The battle for 3rd. Right now, David Bruno has it. He got a little shot from Clayton Kluhl down the back straightaway. White flag goes in the air for Cody McDonald. I think Juan Martinez had a bit of an issue on the front straightaway. Cody's going to enter on the bottom. Take the checkered flag. Cody McDonald wins Heat 2. Nate Walker going to finish 2nd. And Clayton Kluhl is going to be your 3rd and final transfer. Meanwhile, David Bruno and Ryan Howard is going to round out your top 5. Heat race number 3 is gridding up right now. Row number 1 is going to be Dylan DeWert and David Cannon. Row 2 is going to be Anthony Morano and Jake Henry. Row 3 is going to be Jonathan Lampman and Landon Curran. Row 4 is going to be Lon Franks and Dawson Tone. Row 5 is going to be Lucas Merrifield and Matt Smith. Row 6 is going to be Justin Stevens and Travis McDonald. They go 2 by 2 onto the racetrack for a couple of quick pace laps. Eight laps of distance, 12 cars vying for 3 spots in this heat. Tim, bring us to green this time, buddy.
Dylan waiting to go as he gets a launch. He launches. The 32 launches with him. Great launch on the out of the 32 machine of Anthony Moreno jumping up into second. David Cannon is in third. Jason Henry fourth, and a battle for fifth between Landon Curran and Jonathan Lampman. As we have a yellow. I'm not sure what the yellow is for.
I caught it just at the back of the field there as they were coming through turn 4. Justin Stevens got some help from behind in the number 19 machine. Out of, well, I guess they were in the middle of 3 and 4. I'm going to see who he gets some help from. He sent it in on the bottom, made contact with the 03. Dawson Tone didn't expect him to make that kind of a move, and it sends the 19 around. That was enough to bring the yellow flag out, so I think the 19 was just trying to get a little bit too much there into turn number 3. As a field single file on the outside here. Now going to double up as the lights go out on the pace truck. Dylan DeWert, Anthony Morano, David Cannon, your transfer cars so far. Jonathan Lampman, Landon Curran, Jake Henry, Matt Smith, Lon Franks, Lucas Merrifield, Travis McDonald, and Dawson Tone on the outside looking in. Now to turn 4, back on the gas, green flag goes back in the air. Dylan DeWert, David Cannon, Anthony Morano side by side battling for second. Jonathan Lampman is right behind those two. Three wide right behind him. Landon Curran, Jake Henry, Lon Franks. That's the battle for 5th. Can any of these fellows make it up to Anthony Morano? White flag already in the air for Dylan DeWert. Going to bring that car through turns 3 and 4. And across the line, Dylan DeWert wins Heat 3. David Cannon's going to come in home in second there. And Anthony Morano, your third and final transfer car. Jonathan Lampman and Landon Curran's going to round out your top 5. This is the starting grid for C-Main, Tim?
This will be the D main.
And we're taking how many?
Top 6.
All right.
We'll
This
go to the C main.
Oh, all right. Row number 1 is going to be Jordan Tucker in the 66 and Alan Smith in the 44. Row 2 is going to be Dawson Tone in the 24 and Jonathan Tohavchian in the 14. Row 3 is going to be Juan Martinez in the 4 and Travis McDonald in the 37. Row 4 is going to be Dean Reynolds in the 79 and Braden Phillips in the 88. Shotgun starter is going to be Justin Stevens in the 19. All right, so folks, this is your D main. 12 laps the distance. 9 cars are starting, and 6 of them are going to get to tail the C main.
Yes, the top 6 will go to the C main.
All righty. I did notice that the caution laps did count in the heats, so we'll keep an eye on that as we go forward. I think once we get to the feature that the caution laps will not count, but they're in the heat races They did. So those 3 heats rolled by pretty fast. Now we're into the consolation races tonight. So Travis McDonald, Dean Reynolds, Juan Martinez all on the hot seat, as that's 5th, 6th, and 7th currently. Green flag is in the air. We're underway in the D main. Jordan Tucker launches out ahead of everybody else into turn 1. Juan Martinez and Dawson Tone is side by side. Jonathan Tohavchian gets a little bump from behind Alan Smith in the 44. Dean Reynolds trying to look to the inside of Jonathan. Nothing quite there. He's going to slide up in front of Alan Smith, who holds on to that 6th and final transfer. Travis McDonald, Braden Phillips, Justin Stevens on the outside looking in. Side by side, Alan Smith and Dean Reynolds. Also Dawson Tone and Juan Martinez. Looks like that high side just prevailing a little bit better out of the corners. As of right now, your top 3 now single file. Make it your top 4. Alan Smith, Dean Reynolds still haven't settled out this 5th place position yet. Travis McDonald losing a little ground, trying to stay in touch to be able to be there for the transfer battle.
I tell you what, I noticed this the last couple laps. Watch Tone, the leader and Tone, they are not using the very top of the track in 3 and 4. They're running about a half lane off the very top, staying out of the slick at the very top.
Yeah, very interesting there. And our top 3, also another thing to note, that looks like they are working the bottom in turns 1 and 2 as they're coming up on some lap traffic. That's Justin Stevens just ahead of our leaders. He makes contact with Dawson Tone. Still contact into turn 3. The admins, I'm sure, are keeping an eye on that. No fault of Dawson's own. The 19 spins it right in front of the 21 of Jonathan Tohavchian. Justin Stevens bringing out the caution flag here. Unfortunately for Jonathan, I think he's got some damage on the left front of that car. I'm not sure he can continue or not. So Jonathan did get his position back, it looks like. Currently scored in the 4th position. Justin Stevens has brought it down into the pit lane. So far in this D main, it's been all Jordan Tucker out front so far. Alan Smith, go ahead.
Looks like Jonathan in the 21 machine is going to try and finish this out.
Yeah, it looks like it. I'm not sure how it's going to turn out. I think the left front control arm is broken on that 21 machine, but I think he's going to try to tough it out, keep in that transfer position. Jordan Tucker fires away, and we are back underway. Juan Martinez going to hold steady on the outside. Dawson Tone thought about making it 3 wide into turn 1. He now battles Juan Martinez for second. Big checkup into turn 3. I think Alan Smith got the worst of that. He's now back in 8th. Travis McDonald holds on to the final transfer. Out of turn 4. Checkered flag in the air. Jordan Tucker wins the D-main. Juan Martinez second. Dawson Tone third. Jonathan Tohafjian does hold on for 4th. Dean Reynolds 5th. And Travis McDonald, your 6th and final transfer. Those 6 are going to tag the back of this C main.
What a drive.
Absolutely. Row number 1 is going to be Jake Henry and Quentin Stothert. Row 2 is going to be Logan Brown and Matt Smith. Row 3 is going to be Dana Burdick and Jackson Johnstone. Row 4 is going to be Lon Franks and Jordan Tucker. Row 5 is going to be Juan Martinez and Dawson Tone. Row 6 is going to be Jonathan Tohafjian and Dean Reynolds. Shotgun starter is going to be Travis McDonald. All right, 16 laps of distance. How many's going to tag the back of the B main, Tim?
6. The top 6 will go on to the B main.
All right. If it was to end the way it started, that would mean Jake Henry, Matt Smith, Logan Brown, Jackson Johnstone, Dana Burdick, and Jordan Tucker would make it. We'll keep an eye on the other fellas. It looks like Quentin Stothert and Lon Franks is not going to make the call. So 11 cars will start the C main. Jake Henry and Matt Smith. Row number 1. Jake Henry fires. We are underway here in the C main. A little bit of a wonky start. He's going to have a little bit of a gap back to Logan Brown, and now Matt Smith is challenged from Logan Brown. Look at Juan Martinez on the inside, looking to gain quite a few spots here. He just came from the D main. Dawson Tone down in the grass through turn 1 and 2, trying to make up as much ground as possible. He is in a transfer spot right now, currently 4th. Jordan Tucker in the 66. He was our winner of our D main. He is the 6th and final transfer. Jackson Johnstone, Dean Reynolds, Jonathan Tohafjian, Travis McDonald, Dana Burdick all on the outside looking in. Jordan Tucker has 3 cars in a gaggle right behind him. So got to keep pressing forward. Matt Smith, Dawson Tone still side by side. Now Matt Smith's going to prevail down the front straightaway. Jake Henry trying to set sail, has already built up over a second advantage so far to everybody else. Now 10 laps to go. First, second, and third. Oh my, Logan Brown down in the grass into turn number 1. He's going to lose a couple spots, but he's going to send it down into turn 3 as hard as he can and slide up in front of Jonathan Tohafjian. Jordan Tucker on the inside, not able to complete that pass out of 2. I think he's going to complete it here.
Wow. No. 3 wide going into turn 1 for the transfer.
My goodness, folks, this is a battle for the transfer spot. This is all around 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. These drivers are giving it their all. Uh-oh, contact for the 21. That's going to hurt his run. He's going to have to try to gather it back in here because it's not over yet. Up here, they're still battling. 3 wide. Uh-oh, the 10 of Logan Brown gets sent up into the fluff. Caution flag is out. Oh, no. Dana Burdick. Looks like he had a bit of an issue. Let's see what happened. He was on the outside. Oh, he just gets loose and spins the car on the cushion in 1 and 2 and had to tow back to the pit lane, so. Looks like he's going to put the car on the hauler, I think, and call it an evening. Jake Henry, Juan Martinez, Dawson Tone, Matt Smith, Dean Reynolds, Jordan Tucker. Your top 6. Logan Brown, Travis McDonald, Jackson Johnstone, and Jonathan Tohafjian are all going to be right there. Two by two, Jake Henry throttles up. We're back underway, and we are trying almost 3 wide into turn 1. Not quite, but still side by side for third. Dawson Tone, Matt Smith. Juan Martinez down in the grass. Tried to make a big move out of turn 4. That's going to stack up the rest of the field behind him. Dean Reynolds, Jordan Tucker side by side, and they have Jackson Johnstone right behind them. Jonathan Tohafjian got the car wound up around the outside. He's going to have a big run out of turn 4. Looking for more. White flag is in the air. These drivers only have one more set of corners left. Who's going to be the 6th spot? Right now, Dean Reynolds holds it. Across the line. Oh my!
No.
Those drivers were going for it all across the line. Jake Henry's going to win. But my goodness. I think Jonathan may have missed out there just by a car or so, unfortunately. Now the cars have lined up on the racetrack for the B main. Row number 1 is going to be Sam Bachman and David Bruno. Row 2 is going to be Jonathan Lantman and Cameron Tucker. Row 3 is going to be Ryan Howard and Landon Curran. Row 4 is going to be Logan Wentz and Chris Martin. Row 5 is going to be Lucas Merrifield and Brett Weslowski. Row 6 is going to be Michael Vitale and Jake Henry. Row 7 is going to be Juan Martinez and Dawson Tone. Row 8 is going to be Matt Smith and Dean Reynolds. And one car in row 9, that's going to be Jordan Tucker. So Jordan Tucker was our 6th and final transfer from the C main. Our 6 transfer cars were Jake Henry, Juan Martinez, Dawson Tone, Matt Smith, Dean Reynolds, and Jordan Tucker. 17 starters here. Are we going to be taking 11, Tim?
My sheet says 17 in the info.
We're going to take all cars.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Well, I could be very wrong.
Well, let's go ahead and see. It does show everybody's going to go. Okay. If so, this is just a warm-up for the feature in just a little while. Green flag is in the air. We're underway. 18 laps for our B main. Sam Bachman out front. Jonathan Lampman following him. David.
Oh, we got one sideways. Up and over, I think. Oh, we got another one off the track.
Well, everybody's
Staggering.
still going. I think Jake Henry is up out of the racetrack. We'll see exactly what happened to him. Let's go back and take a look here. He was way off into the grass there out of turn 2.
I think that incident happened with started with Landon Curran in turn 1, and domino affected all the way up to Jason Henry.
Yeah, I think you're right. What was going on the low side out of turn 2, it did affect Henry. I think he saw it, was avoiding it the best he could, didn't realize the 24 car was already on his outside, and that just got his car turned up over the banking. Luckily, the car didn't turn over or anything. He just spun, and that was enough to bring the yellow flag out. I'm going to re-rack him here. Two by two. Green flag goes back in the air. Sam Bachman out to the early advantage. 3 wide for second. Bruno is going to move into second. Jonathan Lampman, Lucas Merrifield side by side. Uh-oh, contact. The 53, that was Cameron Tucker, got turned around sideways. He's going to try to get that car back going straight. That is going to bring the yellow flag out. We'll go back and take a quick look at that, what happened to the 53. He just gets a little bit of help from the 21 machine of Chris Martin. It sends that car around. The 213 of Michael Vitale hits him in the left rear. And I think that really hurt the 53. I think he's going to have to head down to the pit lane for some service because that car is crab walking to go straight. So not good for the 53 of Cameron Tucker. You can see he did make his way into the pit area, and he's going to head back onto the racetrack. Bachman, Bruno, Lampman, Merrifield, Tone, Wazlowski, Martin, Martinez, Tucker, Howard, Curran, Wentz, Reynolds, Vitale, Smith, and Henry. Caution laps are counting here in this B main, so already 10 to go. We're going to get the restart. It'll be 9 laps to go. In this B main. We are back underway here at Lernerville. Side by side for third entering turn 1, Lampman and Merrifield. Now Dawson Tone looking to make it 3 wide. He's going to do so. He is down in the grass. My goodness. Juan Martinez with a big run out of turn 4. Uh-oh! He wasn't clear of Lampman in the 61, and that's going to send Lampman over the banking and into the grass. back there on the back straightaway. He's going to gather it back in, but that's going to be enough to bring the yellow flag out. See the 61 machine of Jonathan Lampman here. Dawson Tone entered in the grass. The car was sliding up, but Lampman was on his outside. Tone gets into his right rear. You see Martinez was over the banking. And it, you know, Lampman went for a ride as well over the banking. So looks like everybody's able to continue. Cameron Tucker did rejoin. He's currently 17th, a lap down. I'll tell you what, Tim. Look at the 66 machine. Jordan Tucker up 12 spots. 17th to 5th so far in this B main.
Is that what your scoring says?
That's what my scoring says on my end.
Mine's all sorts of messed up. I'm seeing doubled positions, so I'm not sure.
Well, if everything's right on my end, the 66 machine up 12 spots to 5th.
It did show that, yeah. It's just there was like 3 other cars that was in 5th as well.
We are back underway with 4 laps to go. Lucas Merrifield battling David Bruno for second. They're going to be side by side still as they work through 3 and 4. Not quite able to clear Bruno. He's going to slot back into 3rd. Chris Martin 4th. Ryan Howard around the outside of Jordan Tucker for 5th. Tucker's going to be 6th. Landon Curran 7th. Whoa, the 3 in the grass. 2 cars spinning simultaneously there in 3 and 4. The green flag is going to stay in the air. I was going to say synchronized spinning and couldn't get the words out. White flag goes in the air for Sam Bachman. He's led every lap of this B main up to this point. Out of turn 4, checkered flag in the air for Sam. He wins the B main. David Bruno 2nd, Lucas Merrifield 3rd, Juan Martinez 4th, Chris Martin 5th, Jordan Tucker 6th, Ryan Howard 7th, Matt Smith in 8th, Jake Henry 9th, Dean Reynolds in 10th. All right. That completes tonight's preliminary action. We got a quick warm-up session for the drivers. And we're going to roll into our feature event. It will be 30 laps of distance. I know some of the drivers that have transferred early on in their heat race have been sitting watching the action. All the other action unfolds, so they're going to get a chance to come back out onto the racetrack as well as everybody else and run some laps and get a good warm-up in. Looks like most everybody is trying to work in the outside groove. Clayton Kluel, early leader of the warm-up at a 15:19. Now Anthony Morano at a 15:18. Well, what are we expecting in this A main in just over 3 minutes? Anything standing out to you, or anything you would like to bring up, Tim, as
I am shocked about this track. Moves made everywhere. You can pass in the grass, pass off the track, in the track. It don't matter. Every line works here.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, and some drivers have just, you know, they're battling for these transfer spots. They're just all out. Some of them entering in the grass. It has been very interesting to see drivers even try to do that.
Yeah, do everything but fly off the track. That's the goal.
Yeah, you don't want to go over the banking on the back straightaway because the track, that banking slopes away from the racetrack, so it's a little difficult to get back onto the racetrack once you do so. So you lose a lot of time as a driver trying to do that. Everybody watching at home here on the Buckeye Racing Network, let us know what you're expecting in the A-Main coming up. Let us know if your favorite driver that you're rooting for has made it into the A-Main.
Chris Martin takes a very wild ride through the pits.
I'm assuming he probably full throttled into the pit lane just because I didn't get to see it, but I imagine that's what happened.
There's he flipped about 21, 22 times, somewhere in that.
My goodness.
Give or take about 5 flips.
You see, we were just on board here. This is Anthony Morano. He goes over the banking and just gathers the car back in as he's letting the other cars go around him. See, now we're on board with Michael Vitale, Brooklyn, New York native. See what it looks like out of his windshield as he works his way around Lernerville.
We got a couple people pulling for well, a lot of people pulling for a lot of different people. If I was a betting man, I'm gonna put my money on Cody McDonald just because of the paint scheme.
All right. Well, 26 drivers are on the grid. And let's get to it right now. Blake Bailey and Cody McDonald's going to be on the first row. Dylan DeWert and Blake Steele, row 2. Nate Walker, David Cannon, row 3. Jacob Harrell, Clayton Kluel, row 4. Anthony Morano and Sam Bachman, row 5. David Bruno and Lucas Merrifield, row 6. Row 7 is going to be Juan Martinez and Chris Martin. Row 8 is going to be Jordan Tucker and Ryan Howard. Row 9 is going to be Matt Smith and Jake Henry. Row 10 is going to be Dean Reynolds and Brett Weslowski. Row 11 is going to be Michael Vitale and Jonathan Lampman. Row 12 is going to be Landon Curran and Dawson Tone. And row 13 is going to be Logan Wentz and Cameron Tucker. 26 cars starting tonight at Lernerville. .30 laps the distance. And I do like that comment. Blake Bailey happens to say, "Let's go myself." All right. Looks like David Cannon's not going to make the call. So it looks like we're going to start with 25. Blake Bailey, Cody McDonald going to lead us to green. Now to turn number 4. We're ready to rock and roll from Lernerville for 30 laps. Side by side, 3 wide, almost out of turn 4 to complete lap number 1. Blake Beatty, Cody McDonald, Dylan DeWert, Nate Walker, and Blake Steele, your top 5. Battle for 6 is going to be Jacob Harrell and Clayton Kluhl. Jacob just squeezing up just a bit out of turn 4. Anthony Morano following him through to get around Clayton Kluhl. Caution flag goes in the air here on lap number 3. I believe this happened around Jordan Tucker. We're going to keep an eye. It was 3 wide right in front of him. He gets help from the 21, spins around the 21 up over the banking, flying up over the banking. And a couple other cars got collected into that turn 1 incident with Jordan Tucker. That was the cause of the yellow flag. As we got a couple laps complete, and it looks like I'm not sure who that was. Jake Henry, I think, with big damage on that race car. He had to get that car towed to the pit lane with heavy damage. He wasn't able to make it back. Absolutely, that car was flying like an eagle up over turn number 2. He went for a wild ride over the banking there. Field going to go double file. We will get the restart here this time. Now pace lights went back on, so we're going to get at least one more lap before we go back to green flag action. Pace truck exits. Blake Bailey back on the gas. We are back underway. Side by side for second between Cody McDonald and Nate Walker, and they're going to be that way as they run down through 3 and 4. 3 wide for the race lead. Who is going to prevail? Is the outside going to prevail? And it does out of turn 2. Blake Bailey's going to be able to retain the lead. But Nate Walker up 3 spots. 5th to 2nd so far. Looking for the race lead. Still going to be looking for the race lead here out of turn 4. Not quite there as of yet. Quick check to our biggest mover so far early in the going. That's going to be Landon Curran in the 87. He's up 10 spots, 23rd to 13th in 6 laps. So we'll keep an eye on him as he keeps marching towards the front. Side by side, Blake Steele, Clayton Kluhl, Jacob Harrell. Almost 4 wide there out of turn number 4. Blake Steele gets into the outside wall just a little bit. Harrell in the middle. Now Steele's going to try the middle of the racetrack through turns 3 and 4. Battle for the lead. Walker's going to try to slide up in front of Blake Bailey. Not quite able to do it there. Going to drive that car in hard into turn 3 and slide up. I think a little bump from Blake Bailey. Nate Walker does lead that lap.
Wow. What a move from Jacob Harrell all the way from the top to the bottom. Tried to make something happen.
And we have crazy action up here for the lead. Side by side and battling for 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. All right behind our 2 race leaders. Harrell now on the bottom. He's definitely searching around, looking for the grip, trying to make any move possible. As Nate Walker is now solo in the lead, not battling Blake Bailey anymore. But Cody McDonald and Dylan DeWert is side by side for 3rd. Just a little quick look back through the field, single file, till you get back around 13th and 14th spot. Logan Wentz, Ryan Howard are side by side. But up here, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, the number 20 machine, that's Dylan DeWert. The only car on the bottom, everybody else is working the outside. As you see, he's the lone car, still trying to make something happen down low. The field has not let Nate Walker run away. They are within striking distance still. Blake Bailey working that cushion. He's getting some good runs out of the corners, just not enough to make a move on Nate Walker as of yet. Cody McDonald under fire for 3rd. Three wide once again. Harrell was up top. Now he's going to try the inside. The number 4 machine, Juan Martinez, in a bit of trouble over the banking in turns 3 and 4. He's going to rejoin and be all right. We're going to stay green. Nine more laps for Nate Walker. Can he hold off these hungry drivers behind him? Harrell, DeWert, Steele, Kluhl, and now you can throw Sam Bachman's hat into the mix. all ready to pounce. Already 7 laps to go. '67 machine all the way down close to the grass, trying to see if he could make anything happen down low. I'm just not sure the bottom is there. There's so much momentum to be carried around the top. Five laps to go at Lernerville. Blake Bailey has closed. Caution flag goes in the air.
Not sure who's involved.
I'm showing Brett Weslowski in the 3 on my end. We're going to take a look here. He makes him and Dean Reynolds with some contact. Their car goes up over the banking. He's able to rejoin. I don't think anything else happened, but it was enough to bring out the yellow flag. Or maybe it was Dylan DeWert that had an accident. Well, yeah, Dylan DeWert got the bumper from Jacob Harrell there. That sent that car spinning to a stop at the entry to turn 1. So that was the cause of the yellow. Unfortunate there. Dylan had an awesome run going, and now he finds himself mired back in traffic in 23rd. And we thought, you know, that battling there, Tim, was pretty crazy, but now the field's going to be single file and, you know, a little more tightly compacted, so we might see some heroics here in the closing laps.
Yeah, we're going to see a 4-lap shootout.
That's what it's looking like. Can Nate Walker hold on for 4 more laps? We are about to find out. Green flag goes back in the air for the restart. He's going to lead him down into turn 1. Clayton Kluhl looking to the outside of Blake Steele for 4th. Now just 3 laps remain. Does Blake Bailey have anything for Nate Walker? Nate Walker's got to run these last couple of laps mistake-free as if they were qualifying laps. 2 to go. Bailey with a peek on the inside. Nothing quite was there through 1 and 2. Going to take the outside here in 3 and 4. White flag goes in the air. Bailey a peek again on the inside. Nate Walker's going to be defensive through 3 and 4. Enter down low. Let the car drift up. Checkered flag in the air for Nate Walker. He wins tonight's feature from Lernerville. Blake Bailey's going to bring it home in 2nd, and Cody McDonald finishes on the podium. Clayton Kluhl and Blake Steele rounds out the top 5. I think Jacob Harrell had a bit of an issue as well there as he slid back to 21st. See our top three stopping on the front straightaway for a picture. We'll get a word with them in just a second. But first, we're going to look at the final race results. Nate Walker brings home the win here at Lernerville in the 358 modifieds. Blake Bailey's going to be second and Cody McDonald third. Fourth is going to be Clayton Kluhl. Fifth is going to go to Blake Steele. Sixth to Sam Bachman. Seventh to David Bruno. Eighth to Logan Wentz. Ninth to Cameron Tucker. 10th to Landon Curran. 11th to Anthony Morano. 12th to Jonathan Lampman. 13th to Dean Reynolds. 14th to Jordan Tucker. 15th to Juan Martinez. 16th to Matt Smith. 17th to Michael Vitale. 18th to Ryan Howard. 19th is going to go to Brett Wazlowski. 20th to Jake Henry. 21st to Jacob Harrell. 22nd to Dylan DeWert. 23rd to Dawson Tone. 24th to Lucas Merrifield. 25th to Chris Martin. And 26th to David Cannon. All right. And now we'll see if we can get a word in with our top three finishers, and we're going to start out with Cody McDonald.
I didn't have no room.
Hey, Cody. Tyler and Tim up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do.
All right, man. You bring that car home in third tonight on the podium. Tell us about it. You had a really good heat race and an awesome feature, running in the top 5 all night. Tell us about it.
Yeah, the track felt really good, and I know on Lernerville the top is usually where it's at, so I just kept the 358 up there, kept the momentum going.
Yeah, absolutely. We were watching along, and we seen some drivers try the bottom. It looked like everybody, prevailed along the top. Were you ever interested in running down low?
I thought about it, but I tried it a couple times. I may tried it a couple, but it just seemed like the momentum was it just felt slow to me. So I just jumped back up in 3 and 4 top. I just felt comfortable there. A lot of people don't like running the top, but if you can run it right, it can be pretty comfortable.
Absolutely. Tim, you have anything to ask Cody?
Yeah, you're in a Billy Decker machine. I pulled for you to win.
Yeah.
He's up in my neck of the woods. Outside of running the high side, did the track seem as racy as it did in the feature compared to the heats?
Yeah, I think it was pretty close the same. I mean, the 1 and 2 had that really good bottom or slider line that a lot of guys were running, but if you could hit the top around 1 and 2, it was still keeping you that momentum. So yeah, I think it was pretty racy.
Absolutely. Well, Cody, before we let you go, who would you like to thank?
I just like to thank you guys for the awesome broadcast, and Austin and Dana and Matt for letting me be admin with them and help them run an awesome league. So, which it's doing fantastic. So we'll carry on over to the next one, race 3. I don't know where it's going, but I should have made the feature. That's why I'm glad I did really good tonight. Last week was a very bad season opener for me. I ruined it. I could have made the show, and it was silly jumping the start. So I had to redeem myself, and I think I did that tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, man, we appreciate you getting a word in here with us, and we'll let you celebrate your third place finish.
Thank you, guys.
Absolutely. That was Cody McDonald, our third place finisher. I'm looking around trying to find Blake Bailey. There he is, showing up. So we'll be able to talk to him. I thought for a second we might not be able to get a word in with him, but I do see him. Hey, Blake, it's Tyler and Tim up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah.
All righty, man. You bring that car home in second. You had an awesome run in the feature and just so close to the victory here tonight at Lernerville. Could you have done anything different to get around Nate Walker?
No, not really. He was pretty fast. I thought I was gonna get him at first, running around the middle. It just didn't go my way.
Yeah, I know sometimes those nights do that, but nonetheless, an awesome points night for you tonight. It's got to feel good.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Tim, you have anything to ask Blake?
Yeah, Blake, you were up in the lead for quite a bit. You think you could have done anything different to hold off that number 8 machine of Nate Walker?
Really, to be honest with you, no. He was too fast, and really, to be honest with you, he was my teammate, our team owner, and we race each other like we're racing in real life, and at the end of the day, we're all friends and everything, and I'm glad that he won.
Well, good deal, Blake. Well, before we let you go, who would you like to thank?
First and foremost, I'd want to thank Nate Walker and all of our teammates over at our team over there, Speed Ranch, Slick Shot Media, and everybody that pushed this race on. It was fun. Thank you.
Absolutely, Blake. Well, we'll let you go celebrate your second place finish.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was Blake Bailey coming home in second place tonight. Now we get to talk to our winner from Lernerville, Mr. Nate Walker. Hey, Nate, Tyler and Tim up in the
Yes.
booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
All righty, man. Well, you bring that machine home in first here at Lernerville. You had to battle your teammate there. Tell us about that.
Yeah, no, it was fun. I mean, I was just happy that the bottom stayed in there as long as it did. I was able to get up there to second, and then we had that little good run we had going on there, and I don't know if he messed up or what happened there, but we were able to get around him, and then it was just fighting off for the rest of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And just a fantastic run for you. And Tim, you have anything to ask Nate?
Yeah, you were able to make that bottom work. What was the transition from being able to work in that bottom versus the top?
Oh, it's the bottom is always usually has a lot of speed here, but you have to hit it so good. Like you can't, if you're gonna run it, you gotta run the bottom. You can't drift up. You can't do nothing there. And then whenever I went to the top, we had that last restart with 4 to go, and I thought I was going over. I mean, I drove it in probably 6 cars too deep, and I had to pedal it, and luckily we were able to keep it on the track. But it's a lot different because I mean, like I said, you really got to wind it down to hit the bottom, then you go to the top, and you got to drive it in so deep. So it's definitely a driver's track, and it's a lot of fun here. I mean, I love coming here and racing.
Absolutely. Well, we want to appreciate you coming up here, getting a word in with us. And before we let you go, who would you like to thank?
Oh, I got to thank David Cannon, Landon Curran, Blake, of course, all the guys back at Max Steak Mafia. They put in a lot of time for me, give me a lot of feedback. Speed Ranch, Slick Shots Media, Enforcer Designs, RC Trucking, Joey B Fabrication and Race Car Repair. My mom, she always comes in and cheers us on, so I got to thank her. I actually got to give a big shout out to Landon Curran and Blake Bailey, because if it wasn't for them tonight, I probably wouldn't even have made this race. I had a bunch of tire work to do, and they came over and helped me knock all that out so we can make it. So big shout out to them. Shout out to Austin, everybody, for putting that on, and shout out to you guys for broadcasting.
We certainly appreciate it. We'll let you go celebrate that victory.
Thank you.
That was your race winner, Nate Walker. Man, as the night comes to a close here from Lernerville, any closing thoughts from you, Tim?
Just awesome race. That's all I can say. It's just an awesome race.
Yeah, and just to kind of further that, I believe it was awesome. I mean, we had 2 and 3 wide battling, hard chargers, and I mean, just anything and everything as far as good racing was concerned. It was a blast to call and be up here in the booth for you all at home to enjoy, and we certainly appreciate you tuning in here on the Buckeye Racing Network. We'll be back live on Thursday night with the Short Track Rivals Racing, this same league, but they will be running open setup pro late models. So if you're interested in watching some more dirt track racing, we'll be live about 9 p.m. Eastern, maybe just a little bit before. We'll get the stream kicked off. So that's upcoming on Thursday night. We're off tomorrow night. So no broadcast tomorrow night on the network. And after the Thursday broadcast, we'll be back live on Sunday night for the League of Outlaws Stock Car Championship night at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. For Tim Henderson, I'm Tyler Bentley. Good night.